Today's adventure begins at the top of Excelsior Peak. I started this trip with my pals, Aaron and Ingvar. Now I have to cross this ridge, climb over these two peaks, and set up camp here. Some things that are a little bit different this year. I'm doing this a little bit earlier in the season, so I should have more sunlight, which will make completing this a lot easier, because I've always had to contend with getting to a point and then the sun sets, and it's just too unsafe to try and find my way over. And I've got a really fresh haircut. Last year I was suffering from some really bad hair, and it's definitely made an improvement on this experience. And I'm carrying a lot more gear because the snow, it's potentially going to cause a lot of problems, but we'll just have to see. And I'm in an interesting spot where I have no idea where I'm going, so I better try and figure out where the trail went, because it's buried underneath all this snow. I found the trail, of course, and to be honest, I'd probably have a lot more fun running this section than lumbering around with a bunch of gear I shouldn't have packed. It's about 5 miles from Excelsior Peak to Welcome Pass. When the trail is clear, it's a mild hike with open views of the valleys to the north and the south. I'd like to stop and take it in for a while, but the sun sets soon and I don't have any time to rest. It's a straight shot, so I've seen it all, but you never know, maybe I'll run into a bear or a ghost. The climb up this hill over here is just one of the worst times. And I'm thinking I should be down in the camping area by 7 o'clock. From the Welcome Pass sign, there's an elevation gain of about 400 feet. The trail up is narrow and steep, but sometimes I can slow it down. But then it's back to cursing the universe for making this hill. The last few times I've tried to cross this section, it was well into the night. There's no trail to follow, so I didn't think it was safe to climb. I'd give up, camp, and then race home in the morning. And since this part of the trip is new, I really don't know what I'm about to get myself into.
Where do I go?
This just might be the most thrilling part of this hike. There's no trail, I just have to get from one side to the other and then down.
Where is the trail? Here we go.
It's a mystery what I'll see between here and there, or what I might need to negotiate to complete the route, but it's still pretty straightforward and uncomplicated. That's where the trail disappears, and it's just like this little knife of ice all the way down. But maybe I can go ahead just a little bit more.
My pack creates a lot of drag, so sliding down the slope is a little rough and uneven, but still, it's the fastest way down.
Yippee. I'm gonna get settled in and then try and do some star watching. There's supposed to be a comet out there that only appears like once every 5 zillion years or something. And then, you know, let's see if I can sleep.
At night, in the mountains, alone, I usually feel a little anxious, but not tonight. There's no burden of the past, no sense of the future, not even a sense of now. All time in the world, forgotten. At least until the sunrise.
It's 6:30 in the morning. I'm packing up my stuff right now, and I'm gonna start making my way back. Oh boy, this is already off to a fun start. But I'm beginning the climb back over this peak over here, and hopefully I should be able to cross it in an hour. But it definitely kicks you in the pants from the start. Oh gosh, here I go. Just finished the descent from the top of that peak. I'm so glad that's done. A little bit of a break and then onward. I know I look like a mega dork right now, but the bugs are just eating me up. But I'm about to hit the Welcome Pass trailhead. I've got to hope that it wasn't a big mistake to decide to take this route instead of crossing through Excelsior Pass again. The walk on the highway will be a lot easier than crossing through all that snow again. But see if I can do this really fast.
Welcome Pass, about 2,500 feet up and down in 2.3 miles. I was going to trace my path over the High Divide Trail, but I decided to make my life more painful and difficult. The trail is steep and the heat is intense. I've got to be careful. I don't want to pass out and then wake to being torn apart by a mountain creature.
Almost done. Super close to the trailhead.
If I can survive long enough to make the trailhead, the last section is a 13-mile trek along the highway. There's only one way out, and it's head first into a torrent of pain.
So here I am 7 miles later, and I have nothing really interesting to say. I think I have like another 5 more miles to go. 3 more miles to go. Gosh, I did it with 2 hours to spare. So now I'm just gonna chill and wait for pickup and then probably fall asleep.
This blast off has been a test of digging in to find the will to complete this perilous journey. And now it's time to go home, recharge, and get ready for the next adventure.